In this lecture, we would like to discuss about the Immigration and Foreigners Bill of 2025, which was introduced on March 11 by the Union government into the Lok Sabha or House of the People, and which was passed by the Lok Sabha or House of People on March 27. The proposed legislation seeks to modernize and consolidate the existing legal framework, such as the Passport Entry into India Act 1920, the Registration of Foreigners Act 1939, the Foreigners Act 1946, the Immigration Carriers Liability Act 2000. Among these four acts, three acts were passed in pre-independent India, and in post-independent India, the fourth act, that is the Immigration Carriers Liability Act, was enacted in 2000. The very objective of the act, the bill, the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025, which was recently on March 27 passed in the Lok Sabha, include the digitization of visa issuance, registration and monitoring process, comprehensive tracking of the movement of foreign nationals, particularly at land and sea borders, enhanced deterrence against illegal immigration and overstaying, and the simplification of visa procedures to facilitate easier travel and residence of for tourists, students, business professionals, and skilled workers. So the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025, as it was passed by the Lok Sabha on 20th March, 27th March 2025, it repeals the following acts: the Passport Entry into India Act 1920, which empowers the central government to frame rules requiring persons entering India to possess passports. The bill provides that persons entering or departing from India must also have a valid visa, and exclusively for foreigners, along with valid passports or other valid travel documents. These documents may be examined by the immigration officer. The bill empowers the central government to notify designated immigration posts for entry into and exit from India. These passports will be manned by immigration officers on the posts and other specified officers. The bill provides for setting up of the Bureau of Immigration for performing immigration functions and other prescribed functions. Immigration functions include visa issuance and regulation of entry into India, or transit stay and movement within and exit from India. The Commissioner of the Bureau, appointed by the central government, will supervise immigration and other prescribed functions. And the second act to be repealed, the Registration of Foreigners Act 1939, which empowers the central government to make rules for foreigners to report their presence to a prescribed authority. The bill provides that on arrival in India, foreigners must register with a registration officer. And the third important act to be repealed is the Registration of Foreigners Act, and that is of 1946, which places obligations on masters of vessels, pilots of aircrafts, transporting passengers, crew to furnish prescribed information regarding foreigners on board. Hotel keepers providing accommodation to foreigners shall also furnish such information. The bill requires carriers landing or embarking in India to furnish information of crew and passengers on board to a civil authority or immigration official. The bill adds that educational institutions must provide prescribed information to the registration officer on admitting foreigners. Further, medical institutions must provide information regarding foreign patients availing indoor treatment or their attendants availing lodging facilities to the Registration Act. And finally, the Post Independent Act, that is the Immigration Carriers Liability Act of 2000, was aimed to be repealed, which defines carrier as any person or association of persons engaged in the business of transporting passengers by water or air. The bill expands the definition to include transportation of passengers and cargo by air, water, or land through aircraft, ship, or any other mode of transport. The bill also prohibits aircrafts, vessels, any other mode of transport departing from India until a clearance has been obtained from the immigration officer. This clearance will be granted on submitting a prescribed general declaration. And now we would like to discuss the salient features of the bill and exactly the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025 is structured into 36 clauses distributed across 6 chapters, each addressing critical aspects of immigration governance in India. The chapters cover a wide range of subjects, including definitions and general provisions, the regulation and registration of foreigners, enforcement mechanism, visa categories and conditions, the establishment and functions of key immigration authorities and legal procedures for detention, deportation, and appeal. A key structural reform under the bill is the establishment of the National Immigration Authority, a statutory apex body responsible for immigration policy, formulation, and implementation. The National Immigration Authority will manage a centralized digital database of foreign nationals, coordinate with state level authorities and law enforcement agencies, and provide policy guidance on visa and border control protocols. And now we would like to discuss the integrated immigration management system. So the very bill mandates the development of an integrated immigration management system. This system will employ biometric identification, artificial intelligence based monitoring tools, and intelligence databases to track and manage the movement of foreign nationals. It will be integrated with airport, immigration counters, land border checkpoints, and registration offices, facilitating real-time verification and enhanced mobility control. And now we would like to discuss the different visa categories such as business visa, startup visa, skilled talent visa, investor visa, transit visa, and digital nomad visa. So the first one is regarding which is proposed in the Immigration and Foreigners Bill of 2025, the business visa for long-term business travelers with fast-track clearance and simplified compliances. The startup visa is for entrepreneurs seeking to establish innovation-driven enterprises in India. And the skilled talent visa is for professionals in priority sectors such as AI, biotechnology, renewable energy, etc. And the investor visa is for foreign nationals committing substantial capital to Indian enterprises or infrastructure projects. And the next one is transit visa and digital nomad visa, recognizing the evolving nature of global travel and remote network trends. And now we would like to discuss about the National Foreigners Registry. So, as explained under the very Bill of 2025 for nationals residing in India for more than 180 days will be required to register digitally with the National Foreigner Registry. This new digital registry is intended to replace the current foreigners regional registration office system, offering a more streamlined and accessible platform for compliance. The bill also outlines the responsibilities of state governments in setting up immigration facilitation centers and collaborating with national intelligence agencies. This intergovernmental coordination is designed to improve surveillance, identify overstays and disrupt trafficking and suspicious travel networks. And now we would like to discuss about another salient features of the bill is regarding immigration facilitation centers and jurisdiction of registration officers. So, as per Chapter 3 of the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025, all matters related to foreigners, the legislation places specific reporting responsibilities on various institutions in India. All universities, educational institutions, and other entities admitting foreign nationals are required to provide relevant information to the designated registration officer. Here, the registration officer refers to an official designated by the central government or the appropriate authority to oversee the registration, tracking, and documentation of foreign nationals residing or staying in India. Similarly, medical establishments such as hospitals, nursing homes, and other healthcare facilities offering lodging or Impatient treatment are mandated to report details of any foreign national receiving indoor medical care in India. This obligation also extends to attendants accompanying the foreign nationals and availing of lodging or sleeping arrangements within the premises of any of the hospitals, nursing homes, or other healthcare facilities. These provisions aim to ensure accurate tracking and documentation of the presence and movement of foreign nationals within the country. So now we would like to discuss certain important provisions of the bill regarding those offences committed under the bill and the penalties. All four acts that already we have discussed. The Passport Entry into India Act 1920 and the second act, the Registration of Foreigners Act 1939 and the third act, the Foreigners Act of 1946 and the fourth act, the Immigration Carriers Liability Act 2000 provide for imposition of penalties upon contravention of various provisions. The bill seeks to change the penalty for certain offences. For instance, under the 1920 Act, entering without valid passports into India is punishable with imprisonment up to 5 years and fine up to Rs 50,000 or both. The bill penalizes foreigners entering without valid passport or other travel documents into India with imprisonment of up to 5 years and fine up to 5 lakh or both. So the bill introduced robust punitive measures for violations of immigration norms. So under Chapter 5, which deals with offences, penalties and appeal, individuals arriving in India without valid documentation may face imprisonment for up to 5 years along with a fine of rupees 5 lakh. The use of forged or counterfeit documents could attract imprisonment ranging from 2 to 7 years, accompanied by fines between Rs 1 lakh to Rs 10 lakh, and those who overstay their visa or breach of visa conditions may be penalized with a jail term up to 3 years and fine up to Rs 3 lakh. Additionally, individuals found transporting foreigners lacking proper documentation may incur a fine of rupees 5 lakh and risk having their vehicles confiscated. So now we would like to conclude exactly about the Immigration and Foreigners Bill. And before that, we would like to discuss about the power of arrest as per the proposed bill and as it was under the Act of the Passport Entry into India Act 1920, which was empowered any police officer not below the rank of sub-inspector and any officer of the customs department to arrest without warrant persons entering India without passports. And the present bill of 2025, the Immigration and Foreigners Bill, which empowers police officers not below the rank of head constable to arrest without warrant. So, these are the proposed provisions that we found under Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025, which was introduced into the Lok Sabha House of People in on March 11th and which was passed by the House on 27 March 2025. And now we would like to conclude our lecture on Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025. India's Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025 presents a pro-business and investment-friendly reform aimed at aligning its immigration infrastructure with global standards by facilitating legitimate mobility, attracting global capital and talent, and reducing friction in business travel. The bill enhances India's competitiveness in global economic arena. So, in that connection, would like to conclude with the objective that already we have discussed. So, exactly the Indian central government which introduced the bill on March 11, 2025 in the Lok Sabha as Immigration and Foreigners Bill of 2025 and which was passed on 27th March 2025 is a major policy shift designed to align India's immigration framework with its economic ambitions, with a strong emphasis on ease of doing business, attracting global capital and talent, and streamlining mobility. The bill is positioned to play a pivotal role in boosting foreign direct investment or FDI, supporting startups and innovation and enabling cross-border trade and workforce movement. And as the bill has been formulated in response to a rapidly evolving global context where immigration interests with national security, labor market dynamics, and international mobility, India's growing prominence as a hub for global business, skilled migration, education, and tourism has underscored the need for a modern, technology driven immigration system. So, we would like to conclude our lecture on the very important bill, that is Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025, which was introduced into the Lok Sabha House of People on March 11, 2025 and which was passed by the House on 27 March 2025.